Hi, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskey, and today it is the Balvenie Tun 1509 challenge time. I have here batch number 1, 47.1%. 2014 in December released. I have here batch number 2, 50.3% ABV, released 2015. Over here, I have batch number 3, released 2016 with 52.2%, the favorite of them all online. And over here, I have batch number 4, 51.7%, recently released in December of 2017. There was a little mix-up over here in Europe. Some of the bottles that went to Sweden, Switzerland, and someplace else actually had the wrong stuff in it, which is kind of weird. I think it was smoky, and therefore they actually knew immediately that was wrong. And I have the right bottle. I checked the bottle code and so on. So I bought this from my online dealer over here in Germany, and that was very, very good. So you get these nice little tubes here. You get in each and every tube, you have a nice little sheet, and on each and every sheet, this is, for example, batch number 2. You can see each and every cask categorized in the flavor profiles of, and they only need to do those 4 things. They do spice, oak, delicate, and sweet. So this is batch number 2, as I showed you. This is batch number 1, which you notice was the most because they had 42 casks back then. And this is batch number 3, which had a total of 32, if I can read my notes correct, 31 casks. And this is, don't you just hate that? Look, they put some little peanuts, some packing peanuts in the bottle in the tube, and they actually crumpled up my page here, which I think is a bad thing for an online dealer. And number 4, you see how they use not that many casks. Tun 1509 is the successor of Tun 1401. Tun 1401 was a mashing success. Sold out almost immediately every time. I think there were 9 or 11 different releases from the 1401. The problem was that the Tun just means a very, very big barrel, only had 2,000 liters. And the Tun 1509, hopefully I remember to put this in here, has 8,000 liters. This was a picture taken secretly at the warehouse number 14. You can find it online. William Grant & Son, that also owned Glenfiddich, actually also owned here the Balvenie. So I'm going to actually nose them, compare them, taste them, nip on them, and then put a little bit of water and give my final predictions or my final assessment of which one is which. Batch number 1 had a total of 11,000 bottles. I do know how they diluted it down to 47.1%, and everything else is around 8,850 bottles worldwide. So batch number 1, I'm going to get rid of the tubes here for a second so I have a little bit more room to maneuver. So I'm going to nose number 1. It's very, very rich. I think this is the one I mentioned. I did this video already, and I actually did an unboxing video, more or less. I opened the bottles live in German, my video, and I actually think I got pumpkin seed oil on this one with some cinnamon, with a lot of caramel. You take sugar, you put the flame to it, and you actually make it brown. That's the caramel I'm getting, as well as some oak. Number 2. Much sweeter. Was that actually on the bottom? Here. Number 2 is sweet. Let's see here. Wow, it actually is sweeter. So it's not much sweeter, but it is sweeter by about a bar and a half. That's interesting. And much more of a type of honey. A pine cone honey, a black forest honey. Over here in Germany, we have bees that go to different areas, and we actually have bees in the black forest to take the honey from those pine trees there. Number 3. Let's get rid of these as well. Ooh, much better. I'm getting some leather finally. I like leather. Maybe that's my problem. As well as some malt. And last but not least, number 4. Every time I do this, it's number 1 and number 4 are so similar. If you look at the bottles, you can actually see that they are darker than the two of them. There's more cherry influence here than there is here. These are actually lighter. Also on the if I hold up the sheet of paper, which I did also in my German video, you can actually notice a difference between this side, which is lighter, than this side, which is actually darker. And it's just not because of the amount of whiskeys in there. So I'm going to start with number 1. I'm going to nip, and then I'm going to put some water in there and actually give my evaluation. Very concentrated. Quite a lot of alcohol. Some chocolates. A lot of vanilla. A little bit of that honey, really, that I keep on having. It says here, deep and rich on the nose with floral notes, sweet vanilla, and orange peel. I know my orange peel from my Eagle Rare, from my Buffalo Trace products, but it's not really the same. Velvety smooth to taste with tangy, a little bit, citrus, mellow, cinnamon spice, and blossom honey. I do not disagree with most of what they wrote there. 1 second. I am not, and this is really what I'm ashamed of, I am not a Balvenie expert. I have very, very little experience tasting Balvenie products. I've had the double wood 12-year-old. I've had the triple wood 16-year-old, which I just finished the bottle and just did the bottle kill with. And I've done the Caribbean 14 cask, which I didn't like because it actually had the rum finish, which I'm not a big fan of. And that's it. And now I'm doing this massive taste testing here. To explain myself, I have the possibility over here in Germany to do bottle shares, which means people actually buy 5 CLs as well as 10 CL bottles. And what I did is actually I went online in my different Facebook groups. There's another group over here in Germany called Fassstark, which is caststrength.de, fassstark.de. And I actually posted that I have the 4 bottles. I took pictures of them, and that I'm going to bottle share them. So 4 of these together were 90 euros, and 4 of these was then 180 euros because I paid basically 1,200 euros for all of this. Euros times dollars times 1.10%. So 1,200 would be about 1,350, all right? So this was about 250 euros. This was about 280 euros. This was about 320 euros. This was about 350 euros. So basically it worked out exactly at 300 euros per bottle. And that's why I'm doing it, because I wanted to make some videos about this. I wanted to try this and so on. I bought these 2 bottles at a shop here online that I trust and I know. And these 2 bottles I actually bought at auction, and I tasted. I made sure that they were originals, looked at the bottle code, did my research online and so on before I opened them up. And very, very interesting. All right, so moving on to number 2. That's the background story to why WhiskyJason's so crazy to have this much money in front of him in these bottles. They're not mine anymore. Actually, I sold the bottle with 15 CL of content in it, all 4 of those to one of my online buddies, and he's going to actually use it for a tasting as well as his place. I own 5 CL of these bottles at this moment. I get a lot of that burnt caramel. Same thing again. I get some of that honey. I get a lot of the oak. And what I really start to get now is the sherry. I didn't have that much of a sherry influence, but I get a very, very dry, like PX sherry type of influence here. On the sheets, it doesn't tell us what type of sherry they use. It just says sherry butts. Could be Ortoloso, it could Fino, it could be PX, Pedro Jimenez. It could be anything, we don't know. I'm not a really big fan of number 2, to be honest, at the moment. Number 3. Cleansing my palate, zwischendurch. Zwischendurch, haha, that was German. Cleansing my palate in between drinks. Wow, much better. I get some leather. Oh, I get some rich, dark notes. I get the cinnamon. I get the honey. I get the oak. Very well balanced. Coherent. Oily. Smooth. 50.3%, and yet it's very, very nice. Oh, I get even a little bit of, like clove at the end. Nice. Nice. Very good. Batch 3 really is the best. Unless, of course, let's wait for number 4. I actually get some bitter moments here. Some of that burnt chocolate, burnt caramel again. It's really interesting. I think 1 and 4 are very, very similar. 2 is a little inferior to everything else, and 3 really stands out in my book. I might have to do these in German in a blind taste and see if I'm still the same opinion as before. Oh, wow. I didn't read the notes, I'm sorry, for number 4, or nor number 3. It said here, tasting notes rich and malty. I get some malt here. With sweet vanilla fudge. I'm not sure about that. Layers of honeycomb and citrus. Luscious malty. Notes appear on the palate with concentrated, honey gradually developing into deep, richer oak with some dried fruits and cinnamon and ginger spiciness. For number 3, the one I really, really like, it says luscious with aroma of honey, orange peel, sweet oak vanilla. I like that. Sweet oak and vanilla all together. Very, very good. And delicious ginger spiciness. To taste it is richly sweet, combining elegant honey with tangy citrus and gentle vanilla overlain with settled notes of cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. Maybe that's the thing that I really like the most, is that nutmeg. Who knows? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm taking it down to about 45, 42%. Now I know this is 47% to begin with, but let's see. I'm going to work my way backwards. We're going to start with number 4. Much better. Much more depth. But yet it's still very, very... It's like when you play the piano, you just have this chord, da, and it continues on the entire time. I get the honey, I get the oak, I get the spice, and I get a little bit of cinnamon, and da, that's it. It's not a really complex whiskey. It's not an Oben, it's not a Kleinlich. Yeah, it's very good. I'm going to actually give this a B+. 250 euro bottle whiskey for a 2+. I'm so happy I did not buy these bottles to keep and to drink. They're just, in my opinion, not worth it. They're good. Now, batch number 3. Much better. This is an A-, by the way, in my book, which is a very high grade. I don't give A+ or A's or A- that often. That's a very, very good. Oh, wow. I'm not sure if that's what I get. Is it nutmeg? But there's something in there which I really, really, really like. Oh, wow. And it reminds me of the stuff I also have in the Balvenie Doublewood 12-year-old as well, which is always in the background, just kind of pops out its head sometimes and says it's a vanilla type of... I might actually go for vanilla nutmeg. Who knows? You have those in your chai lattes, and I have it in my chai lattes. So, batch number 2. I get that burnt orange peel. I get a little bit more of the oakiness. It's tart. That's my least favorite of the three so far. So this is going to be a 2, a B, I'm sorry. Which is still a great grade, actually. Bs are not given all the time. You have to do something for a B here in my world. But it's not really... It's definitely not in this league. And it's not even up to par with this name. It's a solid B. And batch number 1 and number 4. Tend to be so much similar. Interesting. Ooh, that's nice. Vanilla, spice, oak. I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. I have the feeling that Balvenie is almost like bourbon. You have those 5 different characteristic things. You have your cotton candy, you have your tobacco, you have your pecans, you have your leather, you have your wood, and so on. And it has the same feeling that Balvenie is almost in that same type of category. It's Scotch like this. It's a little bit this way, a little bit that way. This is definitely a B plus as well. So B plus, A minus, B, B plus. So definitely the winner is batch number 3. And if I remember correctly, Scott, by the Scotch Test Dummies, batch number 3 is the one you dropped in the driveway. And that's also the one you actually were given again from Bart as a Christmas or a consolation gift or whatever. So well done. That is the best of the Balvenie Tun 1507 I've ever had in my glass. And these are the only 4 that I've ever had. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very, very weird. I'm going to pull out my Balvenie Double Wood 12 and give this a grade real quick, because I know what I'm going to give these as a value for money. This is an F minus, $350 or something. That's a B. These and these are actually more of a D minus, and this is actually a D, a solid D. I cannot recommend spending $300 on a whiskey that is actually just an A minus. In comparison to this, I like this. I would actually give a B minus as well. But a value for money over here in Germany, we're talking about 30 some euros. This will actually be a B minus for value for money. So if you want to learn a little bit about Balvenie, if you want to get in that profile, this is where you should start. Don't go for these puppies. They're way out of everyone else's league, including mine, to be honest. All right, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American in Germany, tasting rare, exotic whiskeys. My question is, which of these, which Balvenie do you like the best? It might be the Caribbean Cask, it might be the Double Wood 12-year-old, it might be the Triple Wood 16-year-old, it might be a Tun 1509, you might have had the experience of having the Tun 1401, or Tun as we say in English. I don't know, what was your best Balvenie ever? Alright, thank you very much for liking, subscribing, telling others about this crazy American over here in Germany doing weird and crazy things. For example, all 4 batches here at Tun 1509. And I thank you very much for watching. See you soon. My videos come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. All the best. Bye-bye.